on foot. We'll have the details.
We had some morning showers and thunderstorms and even some flood concerns, but otherwise our Monday's shaping up to be great. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, fire in the hole. We've got breaking news from Silver Dollar City.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us at KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, Silver Dollar City reveals major 2024 expansion plans, announcing the theme park's biggest ever attraction investment. This is the last season you'll be able to ride Fire in the Hole before Silver Dollar City creates a whole new roller coaster. This $30 million investment for the new and improved Fire in the Hole is set to debut in spring of 2024 and will be located in a new district called the Fire District. This will be the Heartland's largest indoor coaster with a track length of 1,512 feet. It'll be 5 stories high, featuring 5 drops, including a water splashdown, with 14 show scenes and a custom soundtrack. The old Fire in the Hole has been around for 51 years, but now this 1880s style theme park will deliver a state-of-the-art ride for a whole new generation of thrill seekers. And a pedestrian was struck by a vehicle while attempting to cross I-44 Sunday afternoon. On Sunday at 1:35 p.m., the Joplin Police Department Emergency Communications Center received a 911 call for a report of a vehicle versus pedestrian crash near I-44 and Main Street in Joplin. Officers with the Joplin Police Department, along with members of the Joplin Fire Department and area EMS teams, responded to the scene. The preliminary investigation showed a vehicle was driving westbound on I-44 when the pedestrian attempted to cross I-44 on foot near Main Street and was then struck by the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle was not injured. However, the pedestrian, identified as 23-year-old Corey Fitzjohn of Joplin, was pronounced deceased at the scene from injuries sustained in the crash. Next of kin has been notified, and members of the Joplin Police Department Major Crash Team are still actively conducting an investigation. We will keep you updated as further details become available. And a portion of I-44 in Jasper County was blocked Sunday morning because of a boat. Jasper County authorities were alerted around 7:30 a.m. They say traffic was backed up for about a mile and a half after a pickup hauling the boat jackknifed, throwing the boat off the trailer and into the roadway. Traffic resumed as normal around 9 a.m. And a semi hauling 35,000 pounds of fresh eggs overturned Sunday, causing quite the scramble. It happened at about 9:30 a.m. on State Route D, east of Crowder College. Authorities say the truck was driving west when it dropped tires to the right and overturned. The driver was not injured. Teachers across Missouri are getting ready for school. Many start their classes a week from today. One teacher who is just starting in education is already navigating the challenges of a brand new school year, this time in front of the class. Marina Silva has her story.
Really hard to push a love for reading at a young age.
Presley Hawkins has her classroom nearly ready to go for the start of the school year.
I grew up in Lebanon and my mom taught kindergarten here at the same building, so I grew up always seeing her and, loving it and helping set up in the summers. And
this is her very first classroom and she's been working to get it finished.
It's difficult. You got to kind of find a mixture of course, classroom environment is important, so making sure you get all the educational materials you need, but also the things to make it homey and welcoming and comfortable.
Hawkins had help getting everything she needs.
I was really blessed with, I did an Amazon wish list and I had a lot of people in the community send things in for me off my list, so that really helped.
Like many teachers, Hawkins had her moments of doubt before her career choice.
And so when I went to pick my university and I talked to the head of education there, she just kind of said you gotta think about what you want, the impact versus the money and versus things like that and your faith and all those things, and so kind of directed me in that.
She's happy about her choice, but nervous.
I'm nervous I'm going to forget something that's important.
For those students who will have Mrs. Hawkins,
I love them no matter what. First grade is a really big year for growth. There's a lot that comes at you and they're going to be so different by the end.
Now let's take it over to Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we had some morning showers and thunderstorms, even strong to severe thunderstorms overnight. Looking back over the last several hours, you can see where the initial severe thunderstorm complex rolled through at the beginning of this loop. And then we had the additional heavy rain that pushed on through the area as well following that this morning. So some much needed rainfall around the area. Unfortunately, it has led to some flooding concerns. And until 4 o'clock this evening for Newton, McDonald, Berry, and Lawrence counties in southwest Missouri, still have this aerial flood warning out there. So remember what we've said, turn around, don't drown. If you see water over a roadway, don't risk it. Don't chance it. You have no idea how deep it is. You don't know if that roadway's been washed away or not. It's just not worth it. Make sure you just give yourself time to get where you're going. And of course, if you know your commute at any point takes you along a flood-prone road, just plan an alternate route. It's better to be safe than sorry out there. Now, yesterday, we started the day at 73, so just a pinch above normal. Made it up to 88, so just a pinch below normal. And we picked up around 1/10 of an inch or so. But what we're really liking here is look at our August numbers. They are almost an inch above normal. That's helping to close that gap, that deficit we have from this year. And we're still looking at above normal precipitation heading into the fall. We've still got the flooding concerns following the morning rain. We're keeping an eye on the below average temperatures the next couple of days. Unfortunately, the heat will return toward the end of the week. We'll look at that full forecast coming up.
For those affected by Tyson's recent plant closure announcement, a Knoll coffee shop hosted a resume and job application assistance event on Saturday.
Growing up in Knoll, Erica Medina feels like her family's life was once centered around Tyson. Her parents worked there for years, and still today, her grandmother is an employee of the company. Erica knows she's one of many in Knoll.
Most of the community, if you go and ask around, they have either a family member, a friend, or just somebody they know that works at Tyson's. Since Knoll is just like such a heavy town, like based on Tyson's.
Tyson Foods announced plans to close its poultry processing plant in Knoll in October. In the southwest Missouri town, about 1,500 workers will lose their jobs. To try to help those impacted by the closure of the plant, the Common Cup, a Knoll coffee shop, is hosting a resume and job application help event. They had free drip coffee available to those needing assistance and multiple computers set up in the shop. Erica offered her time and knowledge. She served as a translator in the workshop, as many of Tyson's employees don't have English as their first language.
It's my community, it's my people. I grew up here, I went to school here, and I still live here. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I want to do something to help. Maybe I can't do much, but the things that I can do, I'm going to try.
While the rain might have discouraged some people to show up and ask for help, Abigail Dozal, another Spanish-speaking volunteer, was also available to offer support.
It's going to affect everybody in this town, and I feel that there's only one way to get through this, and it's if everybody comes together to move on from this.
Tyson's announcement also is near to her heart.
My mom works there, so I feel that I am a part of this. And, you grow up here and you hate to see, this town to fall apart.
The coffee shop on Knoll's Main Street will hold resume and job application assistance events every Saturday until the plant's closure. In Knoll, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
This upcoming Saturday, the Common Cup's resume and job application help event will start at 7 a.m. Also this week, on Wednesday, the McDonald County Chamber of Commerce will host a resource and career fair in support of the Tyson employees who received their notices of job loss. For more information, go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. That's a look at today's top stories and weathers in the four-state region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon. Law enforcement officers in Marion County, Kansas, raided the home and office of a newspaper owner. And later, we're making tuna melt casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. A newspaper in Marion, Kansas was raided by police. Brandon Stitt has what legal issues may follow those Marion police who raided the office.
It's really an extraordinary case and one that demands immediate attention.
That's the reaction from Washington, D.C., where the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, along with 34 other news media and press freedom organizations, are condemning Friday's raid of the small-town newspaper, Marion County Record. In this letter sent to Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody, the committee tells the chief there appears to be no justification for the search warrant. It goes on to say they believe federal laws may have been violated.
Normally what would happen in a situation like this is the law enforcement agency would submit a subpoena or some other form of legal demand, where instead of actually going in and literally physically taking everything from the office.
But the committee says a search warrant being served on the press is something highly unusual.
They almost never happen, precisely because they're just so intrusive, and they shut down news gathering entirely, as in this case, and have a really dire effect on the free flow of information to the public.
At the federal level, search warrants on any press organization must be approved by the U.S. Attorney General before law enforcement can move forward.
That's one of the most significant and notable things here, is that on a federal level, at the Department of Justice, the Attorney General himself or herself personally must sign off on a newsroom search, even when the news organization or journalists are actually suspected of a crime. That's how serious the federal Department of Justice treats incidents like this. And that's why they're so rare.
So rare that, according to the Reporters Committee,
the bottom line is it really shouldn't have happened. Newsroom searches are a last resort, not a first. And, in this case, the effects have really been problematic for, a free press and basic democratic rights.
Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
Today we've got a dish that will earn you a standing ovation every time you serve it. So you better get ready for all that attention.
And after a wet start to our Monday, the rest of the day shaping up to be great. The heat does return. We'll take a look at that when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we had the strong to severe storms yesterday evening. Then we had some heavy rain and some thunderstorms early this morning. And now we are looking at a fantastic afternoon and a great couple of days, honestly. So here's what we saw officially overnight, yesterday evening across the area. Those orange circles, those are wind damage reports. The blue circles are hail reports, and those green ones are measured wind gust reports. So we're going to start here in southeast Kansas. Coffee County around Burlington really got hit hard. A number of trees and power lines down, and one of the maximum wind gusts reported up there was 74 miles an hour. Chanute managed to report a wind gust of right around 60 miles an hour with the storms yesterday evening. And we head off into southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma. We had a wind damage report in Jasper County, some trees and power lines down, 61 mile an hour wind gust just southwest of Monette, plus some hail just to the west of Neosho, and trees and power lines down in Ottawa County out east of Miami. So we did get some nasty thunderstorms last night, but they did bring us a lot of much needed rainfall around the area. Now in this red box, on average, picking up about just under 3.5 inches of rain. But where we had the flood advisories this morning, where we still have some this afternoon, is right in this boomerang shape where we got some of the heavier amounts of rain back into southeast Kansas from Chanute to Erie, Girard to Pittsburgh. You can tell by the legend here, we're looking at 5 upwards of 6 inches of rain in some areas. Some, like this little area right here, we're talking 6-7 inches of rainfall across this region. Then we head down to northeast Oklahoma, where really got some heavy rain. So our scale, that gray, that is as high as this thing goes, up to 10 inches. And some of these sites reporting estimates of 10 to 11, maybe even 12 inches of rain with the thunderstorm activity over the last, say, 36 hours or so. So that's why we've had the flooding concerns in northeast Oklahoma as well. And then we've still got those flood advisories for parts of southwest Missouri. And you can see around Mount Vernon, you can see a little gray hiding back behind where it says Mount Vernon. So that's another 7, 8, 9, potentially 10 inches of rainfall. So we absolutely needed this rainfall. It's just the problem is it fell pretty quickly, and that's why we've had those flooding concerns. But again, we're still looking at an above average rainfall as we head into the fall. And as we mentioned a few days ago, I think we're starting to get into the catalyst of that. We're starting to get more of these rain-producing events, ones that are producing meaningful rainfall across the area. We're still looking at highs, upper 70s, maybe a couple of lower 80s out there under partly cloudy skies. And then we'll have mostly clear skies heading through the evening, falling back through the 60s, and eventually to right about 60 degrees for our overnight low, maybe even some upper 50s out there across the area. area. As we look ahead, Tuesday, Wednesday still looking nice. Upper 70s Tuesday, low 80s Wednesday. Back again into the 50s for us Tuesday evening. Unfortunately, we go into Thursday. Temperatures warm into the low 90s, and we see upper 90s Friday. And by the weekend, the triple digits return, and we hang on to those hot conditions as summer arrives once again in the 4 states, with temperatures upper 90s, lower 100s heading into the next work week. Caitlin?
Stick around. We're making tuna melt casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard and the Mr. Food Kitchen staff. Today he's making a home-style casserole that's packed with comforting corkscrew macaroni, bathed in melty Swiss cheese, and topped with fresh tomatoes. It's called tuna melt casserole. Take a look.
I remember when I was a kid, there was nothing like a good old-fashioned tuna melt. And it's funny, after all these years, I still love them. There's something about them that makes them so comforting. So I thought it would be fun if we came up with a dish that has everything we love in a tuna melt in the form of a casserole. We start off by cooking some corkscrew pasta, and once it's tender, we drain it really well. While that cools slightly, we add some flour and a little salt and pepper to some melted butter. After that cooks for a minute or so, we slowly stir in some milk and let it simmer until it thickens up. Now, we turn off the heat, stir in a good amount of shredded Swiss cheese, and once it's smooth, we add that along with some canned tuna that we've drained to our pasta and mix it until it's coated. This goes into a baking dish, and we finish it off with some sliced tomatoes and a bit more cheese before baking it off. Once it's bubbling hot and the cheese is all melty, it's ready to serve. Yep, everything we love in a tuna melt, but in the convenience of a casserole. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our tuna melt casserole, so you'll be able to add a new comforting main dish to your dinner lineup. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a easier way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, we've still got a pretty decent day today. Upper 70s, couple of lower 80s. Same for us tomorrow. Overnight lows tonight and tomorrow, right around 60, maybe some upper 50s. Still not bad Wednesday, low 80s, and then we really start to heat up, go low 90s Thursday, upper 90s, and triple digits as we head into the weekend and summer returns.
Well, it's shaping up to be quite the nice day.
Yes, it's beautiful out there, actually.
All things considered, compared to 24 hours ago.
You bet.
Well, Dal, what do you have in store for us this evening?
A lot coming up at 5. For starters, romance scams remain a popular way for criminals to exploit unsuspecting victims. We're going to talk to a reformed scam artist to find out how those scams happen. Plus, Victory Life Church is hosting hundreds of students tonight at Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh for a back-to-school event. And those weekend and overnight rains bring flash flooding. We're going to check out McDonald County canoe rentals. Spot, join us. KOAM News at 5.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Have a great rest of your day.